You saved me once. Now it's my turn to ruin you. Those words came from the lips of the boy who used to clutch his hand in nightmares. Now he stood there taller, colder, more beautiful than heartbreak and a heartbeat away from tearing Daniel apart. 10 years ago, Officer Daniel Briggs never meant to take in a child. A beta in a small Alabama town with nothing but his badge, a black lab named Ranger, and a house that echoed with too much silence. He didn't see himself as a father. But after a raid on an illegal trafficking ring, they found one survivor, an 8-year-old Omega boy with wild eyes, rope burns on his wrists, and no name on any record. "Let me take him," Daniel had said that night. "I'll make sure he's safe." He named him Elias. At first, Elias barely spoke. He flinched at sirens and clung to Ranger like his life depended on it. But Daniel never pushed. He cooked, cleaned, bought secondhand books, and let Elias sleep on the couch when he had nightmares. Slowly, the boy began to smile, then laugh, then run barefoot through the yard chasing fireflies. Daniel told himself he was doing the right thing. Nothing more, nothing deeper. But time passed, the boy grew, and things got complicated. Elias bloomed into a striking young man with a sharp mind and a quiet, unreadable gaze. His scent, once faint and unsure, matured into something Daniel tried desperately not to notice. Elias never presented officially, but everyone in town knew he was Omega. Beautiful, brilliant, and dangerous. By the time he turned 18, Elias left for New York on a scholarship, promising to call. He didn't. Daniel buried himself in night shifts, never told anyone how often he checked Elias's old room or reread the birthday cards. So when Elias suddenly returned a decade later without warning, with a polished coat and a predator's calm, Daniel knew something was wrong. "Why are you here?" Daniel asked the moment he saw him again, leaning against the brick wall outside the station like he owned the whole damn town. Elias smiled, slow and razor-edged. "I wanted to see home." But it wasn't nostalgia in his voice. It was something else, something darker. It started with small things. A coffee cup left on Daniel's porch. A whisper of his name from shadows that disappeared when he turned. Then came the fire arson, they said, that nearly destroyed the precinct archives. Elias had an alibi, too clean of one. Daniel didn't want to believe it, but he knew that smile, that controlled fury. Then came the final blow. A federal agent showed up, asking about Elias. Suspected connections to a shadow group hunting corrupt officials. And Daniel had secrets, ones even Elias didn't know. "Why would he target me?" Daniel asked the mirror one night, his voice hollow. But deep down he knew, because the world had failed Elias. Again and again. Except Daniel. And that made him the perfect place to start. Elias stood in Daniel's kitchen like he belonged there. No apology, no hesitation. "You're investigating me," he said casually, swirling a glass of Daniel's bourbon. Daniel stayed near the door, fingers twitching near his belt. "Are you giving me a reason not to?" Elias took a sip, then stepped closer. "You think I came here to hurt you, but maybe I came to see if you'd stop me. You're not the boy I raised." "No," Elias whispered. "I'm the man you made." That broke something in Daniel. He reached out, not as a cop, not even as a father, but as someone who couldn't stand another night without knowing. "Elias, please." Elias stepped back, breath catching. For a second, his mask slipped. Pain, longing, confusion. Then he was gone again. "I'm not here for forgiveness. I'm here because you're the only person who ever mattered." It was the night of the storm when everything fell apart. Daniel found the letter under his pillow. "You gave me a name, a life, but I was never meant to live quietly. I'm not your son. I never was. If I ever meant anything to you, don't follow me tonight." But Daniel did. He found Elias in the old courthouse, with 2 armed men and a laptop full of classified files. All of it proof of police corruption, smuggling, even murder. Names Daniel knew. Some he'd worked beside. Daniel raised his gun. Elias didn't flinch. "You finally see it now, don't you? The system isn't broken. It's designed this way. I'm just giving justice a face." You're going to burn everything down. Elias's voice cracked. Maybe it needs to. You'll go to prison. I've already been there, Daniel. At 8, you just didn't see the bars. The men moved. Daniel shouted. Shots fired. Then silence. Elias stood trembling, blood on his shirt, not his. Daniel's bullet had found another target. Elias dropped to his knees. After the trial, after the arrests, after Elias testified and turned over the files, things changed. Some things, anyway. The media called him a whistleblower, a hero, a vigilante. Daniel called him Eli again, just once. They sat on the porch one evening, Ranger's grave freshly marked beside the tree. You could have killed me, Daniel said. I could have, Elias agreed. Why didn't you? Elias looked at him, eyes no longer cold. Because the part of me that loved you never left. Daniel's hand hovered between them. Elias reached for it. Their fingers touched. For the first time in 10 years, Daniel didn't pull away. They didn't call it love. Not right away. Too much had been said. Too much still to heal. But they saw each other. In all the brokenness, the history, the impossible timing. Daniel built a garden. Elias planted lavender. They didn't talk about labels. Omega, beta, father, not father, past, future. They just sat on that porch every evening, in the golden hush of Alabama sunsets, where silence didn't feel like a burden anymore. And sometimes, Elias would rest his head on Daniel's shoulder and whisper, I came back because I knew you'd be the only place I could still be human. And Daniel would reply, You never stopped being that, Eli. You just forgot where to come home to. Thank you for listening. If you find it interesting, please like and subscribe to follow the next stories.